Hello everyone again, welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is turn 21 of the series replay for Strategic Command World War I. I am playing the Central Powers against a computer-controlled Triple Entente. I'm focused on the German High Seas Fleet because I wanted to update you on something that I did after the last episode. I had meant to bring the High Seas Fleet out as far as I could get them while staying in formation. And I had forgotten to do that while the camera was still rolling, and I went ahead and I moved them after the fact. They didn't move far, but if anybody noticed that they're not in the same spot they were at the end of last turn, that's why. So I advanced them a little bit further as far as the Koenig could get on her current movement points. And so that has been the only change. Last turn we had some more advances into the Baltic states, moving on Riga and up the Baltic coast. A couple of questions that I got that I wanted to address. First, where is the Russian Baltic fleet? And the answer to that question is they're hiding back here. Okay, there is a minefield that starts the game right here at the entrance to the Gulf of Finland. And if you've played the game and you've played as the Entente, you know that the Russian Baltic fleet is not mobilized. Pretty much everything they've got up here, there's like a good half a dozen 8 ships, and they're all at like strength 5. There's only like 2 of them, maybe 3, that are at full strength. It takes a lot of production points to go ahead and get the fleet up to power. Now, yeah, the submarine that they've got up in here, yeah, it could come out and it could start harassing Swedish convoys heading to Germany. And then as the fleet gets up to power, they can come on out and start adding to that. But I think the computer has got 2 considerations that has been causing it to keep the Russian Baltic fleet bottled up. Number one is I do believe that the computer has been spending a lot of money on the Russian army due to the debacle that they have been facing here on the Baltic, Belarus, and Ukrainian fronts. And so the computer just has not had the resources to go ahead and bring the Baltic fleet up to strength. The second reason I think they're staying in safer waters is actually combined with the first consideration, and that is right there, the German High Seas Fleet. The primary objective of the Royal Navy, and by extension the French Navy, in the game is to blockade German ports, to go ahead and have their ships occupying these hexes in order to hurt German morale. And it also does have a negative effect on the production points the Germans have available at the start of any given turn. So that means that the High Seas Fleet would have an opportunity to go ahead and just dog stomp the inferior Black Baltic fleet if it were to come out into the Baltic Sea proper. And so those 2 considerations combined is what I'm thinking is the reason why you don't see the Russian Baltic fleet taking a more active role. Okay. And then the second question that I wanted to address is German supply going to the Austrians, and then handing off Austrian supplies going to the Ottomans. Now, obviously, the Austrians do not yet have a land route to the Ottomans, so that's the reason that's not happening. But the general gist of the question was, how long is that going to continue? And I'm just going to keep it going because it's not affecting overall German operations at the moment. I mean, it did have an effect early on in the game, but as Germany's industry has been expanding, um, the handoff of supplies going to Vienna has become negligible. The maximum I can send them is 10%, so I can't increase it any higher than it already is. And then ultimately, Vienna will be handing off to Constantinople, and I'm just going to keep it going to help them be able to have the extra money necessary to improve their own industrial bases. So hopefully that answers those two questions. All right, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and advance the turn. So another U-boat decision. Do I want to deploy it to the Baltic or do I want to deploy it to the Adriatic? I want to focus my submarines on the North Sea and the Atlantic. There are the alerts for the blockades, as usual. Friedrich Neumann, what is that? Middle Europa is a bestseller in Germany. I have not read it. I'm going to have to check it out, find out what it's about. The English cricketer W.G. Grace dies at age 67. My condolences. John Buchanan's spy novel, The 39 Steps, is published. Now, I have not read the book, but I've seen a couple of movie versions of this. And for those of you that do not know, now forget it. I'm not going to tell you. No spoilers. But it's a spy novel, and it's actually really good. You may want to check it out. Austria-Hungary develops gas shell production level 1. That helps with artillery. And the Ottomans develop logistics level 1, helps with supply. And we're getting into winter, so here come the rains. There's our ledger for next turn. The Germans shoot nurse Edith Cavell for helping British soldiers to escape. Hardcore, guys. Seriously hardcore. Italy transfers troops from Atria to Tobruk because of the guerrillas, because of the rebels. And the continuing persecution of my U-boats. Will that guy get out of there? Russian cavalry repositioning. Alright, what else we got going this turn? Personally, I think the rain is worse than the snow. As far as holding up movement and everything like that is concerned. Alright, we have a large portion of the Russian Black Sea Fleet off of Trebizond. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow will stop the aerial war over the Western Front. And the continuing focus of the British and French forces on the Ardennes. As I mentioned before, they're trying to relieve pressure on Verdun. It's a major morale objective. I think they may get the hex this time. Yep. So they wiped out my infantry corps there. Now, do they have somebody to move up into the empty hex? I hope, because that will be a sacrifice. They're not going to have enough movement points to fortify their position. And these guys will just chew them up. Now, they swapped out that French corps for a British one. There we go. Oh, and British cavalry on top of that. Make my day. Alright, looks like the Russians are not going to be doing anything. Or at least not anything substantial. I mean, if it was me, I'd be getting these guys out of here and trying to make a new defensive line behind the Pripyat. And one of the greatest advantages that Russia has is being able to sacrifice land for time. Doesn't matter what era, doesn't matter what war. Alright, so reinforcing their positions. Nothing going on the Italian front. And yep, Central Powers raiders blocking convoys to Serbia, Russia, and the UK. The continuing distant blockade and North Sea blockade. I mean, for all I know, there could just be one ship out there doing it, but still, it'll make that report. So, 11th Corps was destroyed. There's a summary of last turn's activities, or their activities. All right, there we go. 3rd German Artillery. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to get this garrison out there. But the artillery is going to go here. Now the question becomes, where do I want to start focusing? Because I got to start offensive operations in the west. The UK and the French, their forces are just getting stronger and stronger. They're going to be deploying massive amounts of artillery and air assets. And I gotta get into a position where I can at least disrupt them at least a little bit. So obviously Verdun is going to be the big ticket, and I also need to take this hex back. So we'll go ahead and deploy that artillery there. I'll be able to upgrade him and then move him up. And there is 2nd Austrian Marines to help with the push down the coast. Let's repair the light cruiser while we're here. Okay, that is it for reinforcements. Alright. Now, something I want to check here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, do it this way. Repair him. Anybody else heading that way? Yes, these guys over here. Now, I know I can force march these guys, but I don't see the point at the moment. I don't have a crisis on the Suez right now. go after the cavalry unit just because they left it. But the odds aren't great. So we'll just continue to stare at one another. Complete repairs to the Ottoman Navy. Well, almost. That guy won't be fully back to strength. That's alright. Does he have any mines available? Nope, he does not. Okay. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to put some mines there. Now, there was an enemy ship in there somewhere. But he escaped. Alright, he needs more supplies. Alright. So we've done everything down here in Africa and Middle East. Alright, so on to the Serbian front. Let's see. Okay, so he's low on supply and has not been fully reinforced. So we will push. And maybe we will get the city this time. Looks like it. Let the Marines finish him off. So that way this guy can advance. Alright. Okay, so that is going to trigger an event. And you'll see that next turn. Now that we've basically we blocked supply getting to Serbia through Montenegro. So what's going to happen is they're going to start bringing it through Salonika. And the Greeks are going to get dragged into this war whether they like it or not. Alright, let's go ahead and upgrade a couple more units. And now these guys can begin pushing down towards Nish next turn. I need more Austrian headquarters units. I gotta start thinking about that. Alright, so that takes care of the Serbian front. Now we look at the Italian front. So the big attack that I was actually hoping for on Trento did not arise. So just do some damage for the sake of doing damage. Alright, so with him up here, he'll be able to upgrade next turn. So once again, the long-term goal for the Italian front is tied to defeating Russia, getting the Austrian forces back over here to go ahead and finish off Serbia and Italy. Now there is a danger to how long I'm taking to go ahead and overrun Serbia, and that is that the longer this takes, the greater the chance that Romania will join the war, which obviously will open up a pretty large front. But the Romanians do not start with a whole lot of forces. Still, though, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. So, and then also it delays Bulgaria's entry into the war. The longer that I'm taking with Serbia, and that in turn slows down how long it takes me to get a land route for supplies to the Ottoman Empire. So yeah, this does need to be a priority, but as I mentioned in the beginning, Russia was going to be my priority. So, you know, yeah, I'm taking some risks in some other parts of the map, but then that was the plan. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the western front. Oh wait, let me go ahead and move him up a little bit. Now we'll start swapping some of these guys out. Oh wait, first... Alright, a little air war action there. Find out what we got in the background. More English infantry. Or British infantry. And... incoming. I think that should have about got rid of all of the trees in the Ardennes. Alright. So now, whoops. Now I'll go ahead and finish updating, or excuse me, upgrading what guys I can. Now he attacked, so I'm not going to be able to upgrade him. Even though I pulled him out of contact with enemy forces. I'll just go ahead and burn it down the line. Now the computer does a good job of focusing on prioritizing research and development. I've noticed from previous playthroughs that the computer focuses very much on trench warfare and all of the things that go into improving artillery. Both artillery weapons, gas shell production, logistics. So get some submarines out in front of the fleet. And before I move the fleet, let's go ahead and get these submarines back. So the fleet's mission, the High Seas Fleet's mission has changed from last turn. So last turn the idea was to go out and see if I couldn't pick off a couple of more elements of the Grand Fleet. Now the mission has become save my submarines and get them home. And it just so happens that along the way we may wind up picking off... crap. No, don't drop. Well, you know what? Yes. See if we can't get somebody to trip over our mines just like I just tripped over theirs. Alright, so that means chances are good. There's a mine field right there in that hex. But I don't want to leave that dreadnought exposed like that. So let's do that instead. There we go. Alright, so we'll see what happens next turn, because the computer knows that I've got somebody here, because it would have been alerted to me running over their mines. I got all these destroyers up here and that one light cruiser. There's at least one more destroyer and then the one light cruiser, so all of those will probably respond and come down this way. We'll see what happens. Then whatever's at Scapa Flow and whatever is in here at the Firth of Forth. Alright, so that takes care of all the other fronts. Now let's go ahead and get to the Eastern Front. Alright. So I know I've done a lot of damage to the Russian army, which means I can probably go ahead and start allowing holes in my defensive lines. One to two, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Alright, let's do it. Alright, he took out 3. Alright. And I can't advance him. In that case, we'll go ahead and reinforce him. Did everybody attack? No, the cavalry did not attack. Alright, so we'll go ahead and move them up, because they're able to do this. Alright. Now he might be exerting a zone of control that makes it difficult for supplies to get through here. That would be nice, but there's still 2 towns, Koval and Ravno, that are supplying these units. So I got to work on getting past them. Has he attacked? No. Move up and entrench. Now he's low on supplies. I really don't want to advance him, but I'd like to get him back here. All right. Alright, so we'll see what happens next turn. I'm anticipating the computer's going to go ahead and take this headquarters and get him out of here. He should try and take as many of these units as he can, but the computer is stubborn sometimes. Alright, he's low on supplies. Now you're seeing these low odds because of the winter weather. Oh, that was not good. No, he can't get out there. Oh, he still has 1 to 2 odds. Every little bit helps. Ah! He hasn't attacked yet, okay. All right, we move everybody up. Going to take an opportunity to upgrade some guys. Winter weather is about to set in. I've made about as much progress as I'm going to make until I'm able to get my headquarters units moved up, get supply into the area. Let me show you the supply situation. So this number represents how much supply is available in that particular hex. 5 or lower starts causing debuffs. So you hit it again and it'll show you how it can expand out next turn. So yeah, so I gotta let supply catch up a little bit. So it gives me a turn to go ahead and upgrade some units. All right. So now we got him cut off. Next turn I ought to be able to take the hex. Alright, so that's going to take care of the eastern front. Yeah, he flew a mission. Alright, so Germany's only got 30 points left. There's nothing I can do with that, so might as well bank it. Yeah, I know, like I got a choice. Alright, so let's look at research for the Austrians. They still, let's see, 100. Keep gas and shells going up. But that means I can't put anything else in there. Speed up their trench warfare a little bit. And their logistics. They can definitely use that. Getting supplies across the desert is never an easy task. Alright, do we want to buy anything for the Austrians? Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and buy another detachment. I'm going to need some down here. There are guerrilla positions here. Let me show you. So, as one viewer mentioned, there's going to be one in Belgrade and one in Pristina, so I got to keep somebody in those hexes or within one space to prevent those guys from popping up. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this turn. Let's zoom out, make sure I didn't forget anybody. I think that's everybody. Alright, so it looks like Russia has got a real problem. What do we got them down to? 40. Still a long way from zero. And the Turks are slowly coming back up. They're up to 94. Serbia is only down to 72. Italy 85. France 87. And the UK down to 65. So that tells me I need to focus on hitting UK units, knock out Russia first, and then start working on crippling UK morale. So if I take out two of the major powers, okay, Russia, France, or the UK, sorry Italy, but you're not considered a major power. Um, but if I take out two of these three, then that will be a major victory for the Central Powers, and the game will be over. For those of you that are wondering, if Germany is forced to surrender, that is it for the Central Powers. There's no need to defeat the Ottomans or the Austrians if you can take out Germany. All right, so that is going to do it for this turn. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Please leave a like and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Help us grow. And I will see you on the next one.